That's Samari roll. Boy, that's good coverage by a corner. If you're a corner, you got to be able to close because you're giving ground, but when you make your break and come up, you got to cover some ground. And that's exactly what Samari Roll did. The crowd's booing, but Roll goes around him and gets his hands on the football. That's just textbook coverage by a cornerback.
Well, I know Herm Edwards is thinking field position here, but a kicker would have the wind at his back. Or at least a moment ago it would have been. Corey Ross instead back for the punt. Ross with the catch and hit immediately by Bernard Pollard, who has made a big special teams play in this game before.
Well, it's all about timing, and that's the timing. Perfect.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
And the stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton. That was a big moment for me.
Nurofen, fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
Hi there, folks. I'm Tim McCarver, thanking you for watching my show exclusively here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Join me each week as I conduct in-depth interviews with the biggest stars from the world of sports. Whether you enjoy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you name it. Check out NASN.com for the latest schedules and guest lists, and we'll see you right here on Chevrolet's Tim McCarver Show on NASN.
.12:04 to play in the fourth quarter. And from the 14-yard line, Jamal Lewis. Hit by Kavika Mitchell. These Chiefs are just not used to losing at home in December. Hasn't happened since the 15th of December, 1996. Jim Harbaugh threw for 3 touchdowns, all of them to rookie Marvin Harrison. And trailing by 5, Chiefs recovered a late onside kick, but Steve Bono's 4th down pass was broken up, and the Colts went on to win it by a score of 24-19.
Whatever happened to that rookie, that Harrison fellow?
Nothing much. On 2nd and 9, Lewis again, and Lewis hit and stays on his feet for another couple of yards. He's out to the 18-yard line.
Man, you can't say these Kansas City defensive guys aren't fighting and scrapping for Herman.
Gain of 3 yards.
That is a long time ago. Of course, Herman in his first year inheriting that legacy of good football in December. But this defense, they got embarrassed last week in giving up that lead in Cleveland. And other than the one glaring mistake today, they've acquitted themselves pretty doggone well.
Chance to acquit themselves well here on 3rd and 5. McNair blitzed, got it away, has his man across the 45, across midfield. Demetrius Williams, the rookie out of Oregon.
And again, they come on the blitz, and Steve McNair waits till the last minute, waiting for his guy to come open. Kavika Mitchell comes in there. He has to loop around. See, he's got to loop around the action. That delays him getting to McNair. And it's risk reward big on both sides when you blitz. If you don't get there, a lot of times A good quarterback makes you pay for it.
The ball just across midfield into Kansas City territory, and Jamal Lewis straight ahead for about 4 to the 45.
Now that was a monster conversion by the Baltimore offense in terms of running time off the clock. It changes the field position now as they move into Kansas City territory. And when you're protecting a lead, all those things of vital importance.
Now, there's no way of knowing what would have happened had the turnovers not occurred. But just in terms of points off turnovers, only 3 by Baltimore. Lewis for a first down, or close to it, excuse me. Won't call it a first down yet. That may be about half a yard short.
Well, Greg, the point you make is just what I'm saying about the Kansas City defense. You know, by and large, when you look at the pressure they've been put under by their offense and having to defend those turnovers, they've done a reasonably good job.
It's going to be 3rd and 1. And again, a big play facing the Kansas City defense. Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator upstairs.
Well, either run left behind Ogden or do something where you take advantage of Steve McNair's legs.
McNair reaching, and the spot looks good enough for a first down.
He was tackled by Derek Johnson and Jared Allen.
Boy, even though they got around Steve's legs pretty quickly, I think he was still able to muscle it enough for the first down.
Gain of a yard on the play.
About Steve McNair saying he still talks frequently with Vince Young, the Tennessee quarterback.
And you know, I said, you guys were never teammates. And he said, I've known Vince Young since he was in junior high school. That's how long he came to all my camps. He said, to no one's surprise, he won the MVP of all my camps.
Now on first down, and it's Jamal Lewis again. And this time wrapped up first by Jared Allen.
Jamal Lewis, the ball carrier, tackled by Jared Allen.
Now, Jamal Lewis at his size can do a lot of things, but I'm not sure one of them is being able to bounce it all the way back around to the left side when you start to the right. That's not his specialty, and we're not talking about Barry Sanders here in terms of that kind of change of direction. He is a power back. Power backs are meant to run north and south.
7:20 to play in the 4th. And on 2nd and 10, McNair will throw. Oh, what a job of threading the needle inside the 30-yard line and close to another first down. Derek Mason on the receiving end.
Can you imagine Steve McNair's excitement when he gets an opportunity to play? You know, when you're a great quarterback, to have a defense that backs you up is such a luxury. But then, not only that, you inherit a great tight end in Todd Heath, an outstanding offensive line, but there waiting for you is number 85, the guy that you have such a history with. You go back so many years together in Nashville. There's Derek Mason waiting for me. Steve McNair must pinch himself sometimes to be in this situation.
And by the way, when you don't have the ball, you have a heck of a defense on the field.
No kidding. And I forgot Jamal Lewis, a guy who's rushed for over 2,000 yards in a single season in this league. We used to call that the catbird seat. That's a pretty good spot. The rocking chair, call it whatever you want to call it.
Baltimore has run 50 offensive plays today, 25 passes, 25 runs. And 3rd and inches, a couple of times McNair has kept it for a first down.
Well, he's not handing it off to anybody else in this formation.
First down.
That's kind of like an in-your-face move right there. When you don't even have a back in the backfield, you run a quarterback sneak. Out of a spread formation. Behind Jason Brown, Jonathan Ogden, Mike Flynn.
Are you saying it's either a sneak or a post pattern?
Gain of 2 yards on the play.
That was, you know, Brian Billick has a little of that side to him. Huh? You know, sometimes things like that are intentional. Hey, guess what? We have no back in the backfield. We're going to quarterback sneak it, and you can't stop it.
On first down, they fake it to Lewis. McNair Short toss. That's to Quinn Sipniewski, the rookie tight end out of Colorado.
I'm not sure whether this drive is going to culminate in any Baltimore points or not, but a drive like this is how you win a football game. Turn the other guys into spectators. You're grinding away on the clock.
It has been that way all quarter.
Yep.
This drive has taken up 6 minutes and 65 yards. 5:40 to play. Lewis. And Lewis hit and stopped at the 21. Kavika Mitchell and Rich Scanlon.
We've seen a lot of good work, McNair, on those quarterback sneaks and throwing the football. But I'll say this, Kavika Mitchell and his Kansas City defense, they're making Jamal Lewis work for every foot on this field.
Jamal Lewis, 20 carries, 70 yards on the day, and once again, a big third down facing this Kansas City defense. McNair, short drop, throws outside. It is incomplete.
Oh, flag. Here comes a late flag.
Patrick Surtain over there covering Derek Mason.
Pass interference defense, number 23. The ball's placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
You know, it looked like Steve McNair had overthrown his first choice.
Yes, it did. When this is the intended receiver. And you can see that Derek Mason is in a position to make that catch, and Patrick Surtain comes through the back. Herman Edwards arguing that that ball was uncatchable.
I think he says it was tipped.
Oh, he's arguing it was tipped. I thought he's giving it the over-the-head sign. Let's.
Can't see it there. Although it's not the prettiest spiral Steve McNair has ever thrown.
It would seem hard to believe that a tipped ball could actually cover that much ground. That just seems strange. I don't think that ball was tipped.
Red zone now for the Ravens. Lewis. Upended inside the 10 to about the 8. It'll be 2nd and 6. Clock continues to move, 4.5 to play. And some of the Kansas City faithful have begun to file out of Arrowhead.
Well, this is just a methodical drive by Baltimore. When you've got the lead, in this case a 10-point lead, and you grind it out like this, it is a great feeling to be in that huddle.
Lewis inside the 5 and close to a first down. Boy, if you look at the odds against the Baltimore Ravens coming in here, never been to Arrowhead Stadium, taking on a team that almost never loses at Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, but you see that 3 points there next to the KC. That's why you are always going to be in a football game. When you can play defense the way the Baltimore Ravens can play defense.
3rd and 1 from the 2.
And that guy needs help.
Arrowhead Stadium.
But when you can play defense like Baltimore plays defense, this is a Super Bowl candidate. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Timeout, Baltimore.
Happy holidays.
You can't wrap them up against allergies.
but you can treat almost every allergic reaction with Piriton.
Trent Green frustrated by that Baltimore defense. Jamal Lewis and Moreeeee in the backfield. On 3rd and 1. Lewis to the goal line. Stopped short. Does he have enough for the first down?
I think he might.
Herm Edwards all the way down to the 20-yard line to take a look at this one. Yeah. All the way down to the 15.
It depends whether he slid or not.
Herm Edwards is at the 10.
I'd say Herman's outside the coaching box.
Herm may have achieved the deepest penetration of any Chief all day.
Timeout for measurement.
Well, they're going to bring out the sticks. He got it.
1st and goal.
And now we're in the position where we have been getting a steady diet of Steve McNair on the quarterback sneak. Baltimore has had possession in this quarter for over 11 minutes. Kansas City for less than a minute.
Hockey's not just a game. It's a lifestyle.
Join the Reebok revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Nurofen. Fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
Some
Baltimore looking to ice this one. 2:59 on the clock. The Ravens with a 13-3 lead and a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. McNair pulls it down, throws it. It is incomplete. Overthrew Todd Heap, 2nd and goal.
Well, I think he overthrew Todd Heap by choice. That was really good coverage by Kansas City. That was really nice work by Pollard, who had the coverage. And wisely, McNair just dumped it.
Boy, if you're the Kansas City defense now, where's your emphasis? Steve McNair has been rushing for 1st downs. Jamal Lewis has been running today.
Start right there in the A gaps on either side of the center.
Jamal Lewis to the end zone. It is a game the Chiefs just could not afford to lose.
No, they couldn't, and they appear offensively to just run into a buzzsaw in that Baltimore defense and could not find a way around it. And then on top of it all, they kept making mistakes. And even though their defense hung in there and fought pretty valiantly, too much.
And to put the clamps on this one, the Ravens go 86 yards in 16 plays and take 9 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock. 2:51 to play in the 4th quarter, and it's all Ravens, 20-3.
So you all right, Jake?
Well, I don't think Mum's been acting a bit weird.
I wouldn't worry about it, son.
Only Actimel contains the good bacteria LC Immunitas. Try it and see if you feel the difference.
There's Baltimore's scoring drive. Jamal, a little bandage under his chin. I don't think he's feeling the pain that much. Dante Hall drops it, picks it up. 15, and hit hard as he got to the 19-yard line. We remind you tonight on the finale of The Amazing Race, it's a heart-stopping race to the finish. Find out who's going to win $1 million. Don't miss The Amazing Race season finale tonight on CBS. Well, all kinds of things have to happen for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure there are enough good things that can happen to allow them to contend for a wild card spot now. Trent Green throws, and that's a nice pass, complete and out of bounds. Sammy Parker just short of the 40-yard line. Indianapolis, San Diego, Baltimore, New England. Last we saw, New England was trailing at Miami. And Indianapolis, San Diego, and Baltimore will now vie for that best record in the AFC.
Well, and Kansas City's looking at having to run the table now just to finish 10-6. And of the 3 remaining games, they got to go to San Diego, at Oakland, and then home for Jacksonville.
Pass over the middle, Sammy Parker. Meanwhile, up next, Jay Cutler and the Denver Broncos will battle LaDainian Tomlinson and the San Diego Chargers. Or it'll be the Buffalo Bills taking on the Jets. Check your local listings and watch those Denver Broncos. The problem Kansas City has, as you pointed out, Dan, these Chiefs lose tiebreaker to the Denver Broncos.
Well, if it comes down to your record in the conference, that's certainly going to be the case. That is going to be the biggest problem for Kansas City, because with this loss today, they go to 3-6 in the AFC. And if you're tied with multiple teams, sooner or later, chances are it's going to come down to your conference record. And they have by far and away of all the wild card contenders the worst record in the AFC. And that's going to ultimately hurt them.
Green going to throw down the sideline. Oh, nice catch by Parker. And out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. You know, that Denver situation is going to be interesting to watch simply because of Mike Shanahan's decision at quarterback to go the rest of the way with Cutler.
Well, bold move. We'll revisit that in January to find out how it worked.
29 yards to pass play, good for Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs have a first down inside the Baltimore 30.
I remember Mike Shanahan talking about Jay Cutler and his arm strength. We'll talk about it a little bit here as we go on.
That's Gonzalez in motion. Green. And that's complete over the middle to Michael Bennett. Bennett down at the 20-yard line, and we come just shy of the 2-minute warning. It is now 2 minutes to play. 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Ravens 20-3.
Yes, it's a glove. It's a baseball glove.
For Wilson gloves and much, much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
look at the wild card standings in the AFC. Cincinnati winning, Jacksonville winning big against Indianapolis. Kansas City losing here, Denver still to play, and the Jets still to play.
Yeah, San Diego has a chance to really make a case this afternoon, not only, you know, improving their record in an attempt to get a bye in the playoffs, but they can damage the cause of the Broncos at the same time.
First and 15, an illegal formation was called against the Chiefs while we were away. Green over the middle, and that's complete to Bennett. Bennett slips a tackle out of bounds at the 20-yard line, stops the clock with 1:54 to play.
Run out of bounds by Ed Reed. Gain of 14 yards.
The Chiefs will look back at some mistakes made in the first half of this game, which just crippled them one drive after another. On 2nd and 1. Green stepping up and going to run with it. To the 10, and tackled from behind by Mark Scott.
You know, those mistakes, Greg, started off being little mistakes, a couple false starts and things like that, and then the turnovers came, the sacks, the turnovers, fumbles, interceptions.
Green throws outside, picked off the turf by Tony Gonzalez and out of bounds. 2nd and goal.
Well, Tony Gonzalez is one touchdown reception away from tying our Shannon Sharp for the most ever by a tight end in the NFL. Take a look at it. He sits right there between Jackie Smith and Shannon Sharp.
On pins and needles back in our studio.
Yeah. Shannon, you can come out from under the desk.
2nd and goal. Green throws at the goal line, touchdown. Dante Hall with the TD catch. Shannon Sharp comes up for air.
And I think it's been a long, long time in Kansas City since someone has caught a touchdown pass and so few people were here to see it.
Noisy Arrowhead is now a veritable ghost town. Dante Hall's 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Tynes kick. And with 1:20 to play, it's a 10-point lead for Baltimore at 20-10.
Well, Tony Gonzalez is going to run to the back of the end zone. And of course, he's taken the Baltimore defense with him. And then in the area vacated by Gonzalez, Dante Hall just sits down right at the goal line. Caught right in the middle there is Samari Roll. He's not sure whether to go deep with Gonzalez or come up short.
So the Chiefs have 1:20, and they need 10 points to tie. And we'll see how good Lawrence Tynes' onside kick abilities are right here.
Yeah, you've got a couple different options here. You drive it down into the ground immediately and have it take that big giant hop in the air. Or sometimes you pooch it up in the air. See if one of your guys can go down and catch it on the fly. Or you pick out a guy right in front of you and you try to hit a line drive and bounce it off his chest.
Look who's out there on the far side, Adalis Thomas.
That's Frank Gans Jr., the special teams coach of the Ravens. His dad for so many years, a coach here in Kansas City.
And now we get a whistle and a timeout. Baltimore. They've taken a look at what Kansas City had in mind. Minute 20 to play. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. 3 Kansas City turnovers, stunted drives in the first half. And Baltimore's defense has typically come up big. 5 sacks, a couple of interceptions. The onside kick, and it is covered at the 43-yard line by Derek Mason.
You know, Kansas City got some of what they were looking for in that they got a productive day from Larry Johnson, and running for over 100 yards against this Baltimore defense is a real accomplishment. But the turnovers, the passing game went nowhere, and Steve McNair, as you saw, extremely efficient in running the Baltimore offense today. He was in command from the first series to the end of the game.
Larry Johnson turned in a 120-yard effort rushing, only the second 100-yard game against the Baltimore defense this season. But McNair and company about to put this one to bed. And Kansas City uses its third and final timeout to stop the clock with 1:17 to play. What does it look like down the road for the Ravens?
Well, they go back home where they're going to host Cleveland, and then they're going to play Pittsburgh on the road. And of course, you know, Pittsburgh, you wonder what their mindset will be going into that. Totally embarrassed by Baltimore in the first meeting, and then back home again to host Buffalo.
Combined records 15 and 25.
And with this win today, of course, Baltimore will be 10-3. And with Indianapolis losing, all of a sudden things are starting to tighten up at the top, and San Diego still to play later this afternoon, coming up as soon as we're done with this one.
McNair takes a knee for the second time, and the clock rolls. Impressive performance by Baltimore coming into what is truly a hostile environment.
Yes, it really is. And, you know, Greg and I, you and I talked about it at the beginning of the show. But again, our thoughts and our prayers to the family of Lamar Hunt, who's in a hospital in Dallas. This is his team, his stadium, everything Kansas City chief is Lamar Hunt. And Lamar, you have nothing but our best wishes and our thoughts and prayers.
One of the great gentlemen in or outside of the sport.
His wife Norma, his entire family with him down there in Dallas, and I know his well-being on the thoughts of everyone here in Kansas City.
Steve McNair goes right to Herm Edwards. They exchange good wishes as the final 22 seconds tick away here in Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas City's 18-game home winning streak in December comes to an end at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens, 20-10. Baltimore improves to 10-3. Kansas City falls to 7-6. For Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel, so long from Kansas City. Baltimore, a 20-10 winner. The Capital One update from New York. All the scores and highlights right after this.